I hit the button. All right, where's my comments? There it is. All right, let's give it a minute. Good evening. Good evening. What are you doing?
I'm trying to
She's over
refresh
here
it.
distracting me as usual.
Oh,
She's like, she has a monitor over there where so she could see the comments bigger. And
I have you literally in front of my screen here. Then that
Yeah.
way I kind of watch comments, I guess.
All right. Good evening, everyone. People are just starting to come in. I know I didn't play the intro this time, so there wasn't a whole lot of lead in. Hello, Patricia. Joining us is our good friend, Donna Marian, the owner of the Creeper Gallery, who is in transition as we speak.
Yes, for sure. Very much.
We were just talking before we went live here. I was trying to get caught up with Donna because we haven't talked in a little bit, but we'll start at the early days, Donna, and then we'll work to where we are now for the people that are watching that don't really know the history of the Creeper Gallery. What year did you start that again? What year did you open?
I want to say 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, 10 years.
What was the idea always New Hope, or did you have any place else in mind?
No, I didn't even have a plan to open a shop. When I lost my dog, I met with a friend of mine or an acquaintance, and we were talking about how she always wanted to open a shop there. I always wanted to open a shop there, and we just decided to do it. It was pretty simple.
But the idea wasn't really haunted objects at that time. It was more.
We didn't actually have any for the first 2 years. So after, well, I wouldn't say 2 years, maybe a year and a half. Once the oddity market went flat and nothing was really selling on the cheaper end of that, I had to come up with something that would be interesting for people coming into the store. So I thought of that. I thought at worst, I can pull it out if people are offended by it in any way. But wow, they were never offended.
No, they weren't. Guys, if you have any questions for Donna, if you're watching, we're keeping an eye on the questions. So if you guys have any as we're going here, we'll go ahead and ask them. But we're going to try to cover everything that we can. So you had a partner originally. That partner left. We know that because we've known you forever. You
Right.
you continued on your own for
Right.
a while. The more, what was the decision to bring in more haunted objects? Where did that come from? From the attention that one?
Exactly. I mean, there would be crowds of people around the cases. So I thought, well, I'll expand it and put 2 full cases of stuff. And I wasn't really doing as much work on them then as I am now, as far as, mediums and stuff like that. I hadn't, or investigations, just what they were and what the claims were. And it was just actually, by the time you called me, I had only had them in there maybe 6 months, but so many people loved those cases. Nobody could get around them to, see anything else. So that's why ultimately I ended up during the pandemic moving it to the back room. There was no red room until the pandemic. So
yeah, that was the thing. Again, really quick to go back through the history of Donna and I. We were doing a cable access show. I was looking for content. I had read on Google somewhere that there was an article about this woman who owned a shop in New Hope who sold Zach Baggins, like everything out of her shop for the museum. And I'm like, wow, what the heck is this? And I'd never been to New Hope. So I reached out to Donna. I'm like, hey, Donna, what do you think about us coming in there and interviewing you and maybe investigating the building? And we clicked right away on the phone. We got along even better when we met each other.
They're both crazy.
When
yes, you are.
when I was actually interviewing Donna and her old partner for the cable access segment, she was telling me about the things that went on in the building with Madeline, which we'll talk about in a minute. A lot of people are already asking questions about that. And as Donna mentioned, that Madeline's toys are in a certain area and that we couldn't touch them. When we were investigating, this little lock that was on top of a case swooped down and started swinging. And Donna didn't react one bit. And I'm like, and you were filming me,
Yeah, I
and
caught
she's
it.
like
I caught
pointing. And Donna's like, yeah, that's Madeline. She does that from time to time. It was cool though. It was really, really cool. So refresh the story about Madeline, and people are asking about what you think will happen to Madeline.
Poor Madeline. Oh, when we first went in, we weren't told that there was anything there, and so we're tearing the place apart, painting it, everything up, getting ready. It takes about a month to put a shop together. And every time we'd spend the day, we'd come in the next day and there'd be damage, like things off the wall, things in front of the door, stuff scattered around. She took business cards and circled the table with them.
Wow.
I mean, unusual stuff happening. And we're like, what the hell's going on? And my original business partner had no belief at all in it. But she was starting to get a little concerned. So she didn't even want to be in there at night. And we would always hear the walking. We would hear things. The electronics would go crazy. And then finally, while we were getting set up to open, a woman knocked on the door and said, have you met her? We're like, excuse us? And she told us about this little girl ghost that they investigated years ago, way back. And it was probably 30 years ago. And it kind of told us what they found out about her then. And we kind of were rolling our eyes a little bit, because it seemed like a lot, but we were witnessing stuff daily. So
Right.
We couldn't deny her existence, right? But we didn't have a name. So we would just call her the little girl ghost. And then, we talked to her, but she was very destructive while we were trying to get open. And then this man came in and he goes, I'm a hoodoo priest. I don't know what a hoodoo
Pretty normal for New Hope, actually.
I know. So yes. So he said, Madeline is sitting right there. We had a rocker with a stand on it, and we'd pull it tight so people wouldn't sit in the old rocker because we didn't want the rocker to get broken. And we'd no sooner stretch it and turn it out, and we'd turn around and there'd be I'll just say it, an ass market, right, from somebody sitting there. And we're like, what the hell, right? So then we put a old photograph on top of the skin, and I stood there one day and watched it flip. I'm like, okay, I got to call her. It flipped. So that's where she got Madeline, because we decided to call her that. We didn't know her actual name. So
you just reminded me of when we were doing the cable access show and you're telling that story and you're like, there was an ass mark. Can I say ass? Am I allowed to say ass? And they're just like shaking their heads no. And I'm like, well, we'll just edit that and cut it out. She said it like 4 times in a row. Can I say ass? Is that allowed? Like, no, it's cable access.
It's what it is. It is.
Butt marks.
So where did the idea of the toys even come from?
That woman that came originally, she stopped back maybe 6 months later, just popped her head in and said, how you making out with the little girl? And I told her, she's very destructive. And we couldn't, even though we were speaking to her and, saying hello, goodbye, take care of the place, stop wrecking the place or we'll beat you. No, I'm kidding. But
so she talks to me, actually.
Yeah, you like it though. But right, you like it.
Not really, no.
I don't know. But so the one that suggested, why don't you buy her own toys so she doesn't play with your stuff? Well, we felt it couldn't hurt, so I went to the thrift store and I got a basket and I filled it with little kid toys. And I took it in the next day and I said, Madeline, these are yours. Nobody can touch them but you. Nobody can take them but you. And that's where the destruction ended, unless somebody touched them. She'd be nuts in front of customers. She would throw things off the cabinets, things would fall off the wall. And we always knew when somebody was touching her toys, even though we had signs all over, do not touch, do not touch. And for a while, even I put them in a cabinet because people just wouldn't
Yeah.
stop toys. And it was costing us money because Madeline was breaking expensive things. So they're back under the table now. Of course, after pandemic, we got the red room. She was back there for a while. And then I brought her out front again and just put a piece of glass
Yeah. Yeah.
from toys so people couldn't touch the toys. And she's been fine. Yeah. I think
Well,
she's roaming around there.
I think that was a challenge for a long time. People knew that was not to touch it, so they were going to touch it just to see.
You tell somebody not to do something, and there are people that will do it just because not to. So we'll have a sign there saying, please do not touch. And they want to see. They want to see what she's going to do. So
yeah, someone in the comments said we were there once and someone touched the toys and something flew off the shelf. This is someone who's watching. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
He had a big taxidermy raven up there. And I wasn't working that day. Danny was. And she was waiting on somebody, and some woman said something negative about the shop, which was wild. And it wasn't from touching the toys. It was somebody walked by the cabinet and said, I don't like whatever. She didn't like the shop. So right when she said it, Danny looked up to say something to her, and that thing came flying over that woman's head onto the floor. I wasn't happy because it was my piece and it got broken. But
no, you were adamant even with me when it came to our first time being there and investigating. You were like, no, I'm not kidding. Don't touch them because I don't want to have to deal with the damage. And,
what happened?
You'll be responsible for the damage.
What happened with that time when you smashed your finger, your thumb, because something had happened, got moved?
That was Jack the doll.
Oh yeah, I remember Jack.
He did that because I have that big pulpit in there that's all bronze and wood. It weighs 100 pounds. And then we have a whole dining room table sitting on top of it. And something went on with Jack. He had when we brought him in, he literally tore everything off the front wall onto the floor. That's what we walked into. And then I had to come in and clean that up. But then I was going to move that table a little forward to make room for people. And as we were moving it, my fingers got caught between, and he was sitting on top of the table because I didn't put him away yet. And my fingers got caught between the table and the pulpit. And we couldn't lift it because it was so heavy, and crushed 3 fingers. So, and it was him. I know it was him.
So let's get back to Madeline, because the question that everybody wants to know is what your opinion is, if you believe Madeline will follow you, or do you think Madeline is with the building and will stay with the building?
Won't follow me. Just like with Ida. She's not going to follow me.
I don't think so either.
There's been a number of tenants in that building. Some believed her, some didn't. And, people have been in that building for 150 years, coming and going. And no matter, we probably are the only ones that are really acknowledging her. So I will be having a discussion with her before I walk out the door.
Yeah.
Tell her she's welcome to come with me, but I don't think she will. She's bound to that house somehow. So I am just going to take her toys, put them in the front window, and leave them there.
Yeah.
Because my belief is, and I'm going to predict this here, within 3 weeks of me leaving, the building will collapse.
Oh my God.
No, I'm serious.
New Jersey Paranormal bears no responsibility for the comments of Donna Marian.
But I am making that prediction right now because just if you could see what I see, you wouldn't even walk in the building now. Literally, this pit is up to my back door, and around on the sides of the pit are collapsing.
Well, I'm going to be there on Wednesday, so you're kind of making me nervous now.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Oh, okay.
If you start to feel the building start to lean.
Yeah, exactly.
Wouldn't
that be a great live? New Jersey Paranormal just killed in a cave-in.
I know. See, in the beginning, the development company wanted to tear the building down and put a new building up. They were told no. They were shut down. So they came back with, well, we'll keep the front facade and everything else behind it will go. And they'll build all new building. They're going to put a new basement. They're going to build 3 buildings behind the facade and make them into high-end boutique stores. And they do want me there. There's a whole story there, but I can't tell it publicly.
Okay.
And I think the building will accidentally collapse.
Oh, wow.
They don't think they can collapse it while I'm there.
Right.
I don't think I can. I don't want to slander anybody, so I'm not going to say any names.
Yeah, you're better off.
Yeah, I just have a prediction. Let's call it a psychic prediction.
Well, let's go along those lines. I don't think I ever even asked you this. Was 7 West Bridge the very first place you guys looked at together, or were there other locations?
No, the very first place we looked at and turned down is the place I'm moving into.
Get out of here. Are you kidding me?
Then, because it's a little bit smaller, the red room will actually be a little bigger with some interesting aspects that I'm going to include, but the actual gallery part is smaller.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, it's not going to be as open. I just got this creeper gallery open again.
Right.
It'll be a little tighter, but I think it'll be fine.
Okay.
Not going to put as much furniture in the gallery. Yeah, that was the very first building we looked at, and I hated it then.
Oh my God.
And how it circled back. And the building that I was supposed to look at that day was the one next door, which is identical, but it's in pristine condition. Walls have been taken down. It's been improved over. Yeah. It was in good shape. All I had to do was walk in, paint it, and set it up, and it would have been done. And the weird thing is I saw somebody advertising they were opening there on April 1st. So I called the landlord or the realtor, and I'm like, look, I'm coming from it. You're telling me nobody's in there, but she's announcing she's rented and painted and everything. Because I think I know when something's rented. I got there, somebody's in there all rented.
Whoa.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? And so they called, and here the landlord rented it to her without telling the realtor.
Wow.
So I was screwed. So he goes, do you want to see this place? I said, I've already seen that place. Hopefully they fixed it up. They haven't done a thing since I looked at it 10, 12 years ago. So
yeah.
I'm getting, even though, because it really in New Hope, there is nothing available.
No.
Anything that is available starts at $5,000 a month. I can afford that. So, and then I was supposed to have a parking space, thank God. I'm like, okay, well, there is some redeeming something here, except right before I signed the lease that day, they said no parking here. I'm like, what?
I'm trying to sell the new place here, Donna. You're not helping me.
The new place of the outside. And I tell you, I have it all drawn out on paper.
Yeah.
It's painted tomorrow. Right. And there's a graphics company. They're actually, they were very nice. I did a thing for that Ghosted magazine.
Yeah.
That Ghosted. And the guy, Mike, he called me the next day. He felt so bad about what was going on, that I was getting, pushed out basically with no notice. He offered to do life-size, room-size graphics for me and my front window for free. And I really thought that was nice. So not that I'm getting a lot of them, but there are certain things he's going to do for me. And that was very nice. And there's so many people that have offered their help and coming out and helping me. And I just felt overwhelmed. I'm humbled by all that. And I love it. And, I didn't think a single place could affect so many people, but it kind of solidified my decision to go ahead and sign the lease, even though I hate the place. Sign the lease, and I'm going to make it a jewel. It's going to be better than what we have now. So,
well, I mean, if anybody could do that, you can. I
can, but when you're faced with that out of the blue, and then I'm getting surgery in April. So I'm up against a real time constraint because once that surgery's done, I'm out of commission for 3 weeks. So the place will be open, but I won't be there. So I have to get the new place moved in, set up, and ready to go before that happens so that they can remain open while I'm recovering. So I know it's a lot. It's just a lot. So
it was just the timing of the whole thing was just not.
Yeah. Real quick, because you said about there was no parking, but but for the people who are coming to see or whatever, there is right up on the hill behind a $20 parking lot for people. So
there's parking on the street like there always is.
But I do want to say that there is a parking lot that's right up there on that, right next to your building.
Town is much more hopping than mine. There's tons of stores, tons of restaurants, tons of everything. And there's always people there all week long. Obviously on the weekends, parking's tough anywhere. I got to get there 2 hours early to try and find a meter. So, I'm going to have the same problem. I get there early. I don't know how much room I have for events, but what they do have is this big courtyard outside that's covered. And that's kind of cool, but we might be able to pull something off with a small crowd.
Well, I mean, we, even when we went by there, if you think about it, if you know New Hope and you've been in New Hope, Bridge Street, like you said, is off of Main Street. So you got to kind of go off the main road where all the shops and boutiques and restaurants, and then Donna's place is up a hill,
No hills. That's good.
No, but I'm just saying you're right in the middle of all the main.
I'm at the end of town, basically.
Right.
There is a parking lot. There's a Rita's ice cream or Rita's water ice right next to the building.
Yeah.
Next to that, they open that whole corner up for parking in the summer. So there is parking. You just have to look up for public lots.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to do this. I don't know that end of town at all because unfortunately I became crippled as I was up on Bridge Street over 10 years. I became more crippled, so I couldn't walk that far to get up down. So now I'm going to have a bionic hip. And
there you go.
I should be able to walk farther. And they say I'll be up in a couple weeks. So that'll be good.
Yeah, we, going back to the old shop, I didn't know you looked at that place beforehand. I didn't know if you looked at any place. When you walked in to this Creeper Gallery that you're leaving now, you and I talked through the years about, how you never wanted to kind of make public that you were kind of intuitive or, did you get a vibe in that building the second you walked in there?
I did. And here's the weird thing about it. So we looked at the one I'm moving into first, and then across from the Creeper Gallery, I think there's like a double building there. It has 2 stores in it. And we are actually, to the day of signing the lease, we were going to take the store across the street. It was $100 less.
Really?
A month. Yeah.
You're talking about the barber shop?
No, next to the barber shop, there's 2 smaller.
Oh, okay.
And we were supposed to be there. And the man that owns that said, the day we were supposed to sign the lease, said, yeah, I don't want to put in my house what you're selling. And he let us rent because we sold oddities.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he paid for it because now he's got to wake up every morning. He lives upstairs and look out the window and see the Creeper Gallery. So
that's true.
Anyway, but then he's the one, because there was a popcorn place where I was. And he said, well, they're renting across the street right now, and it's a little more, it was more expensive. It was like $300 more a month, which is a lot when you're starting out. And those rents in New Hope are outrageous. So, we were shocked at the rents back then. And, but there was something about that building that we were drawn to. And out of everything we looked at, we made the decision just to go in there. And that's what we did. So, but we had literally stuff happening day one.
But here's the funny thing is when I met Donna, and to her credit, the objects that she brings in, for the most part, the the stories surrounding them, the research that's done surrounding them, they're really, really kind of interesting for the most part. When we first went there, and I tell this story a lot, two of the things that I remember were the wallpaper with the blood and the brain matter on it, and the pair of underwear with the spider and whatever in it, and I'm like, what the hell am I getting myself into here?
I had to bring I only had like what 7 or 8 items.
Yeah, but they were crazy.
But I had to make sure that they were really interesting items.
Yeah.
They were
items, and after it kind of helped me understand what people were interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew then if I was going to do it, I was going to really try and find historical items or unusual stories or old things. I like antiques, so I'm not going to go buy a thrift store doll, throw it in a case and say,
right.
I want to have a historical kind of piece. And I do sometimes pay big money for this stuff. People think people just bring it in and drop it on the counter, but I have to buy it, and if the better the item, the more expensive the item. You can get some great stuff if you have the pocketbook for it. So staying within my budget, and it's grown a lot. It's the money isn't the issue, it's the time. Like I have had no time with everything going on to research or to do QR codes I just don't have it. Once I get settled in the new place, while I'm recuperating, my plan is to catch up on all those things for the haunted items. So, but the new Red Room is pretty cool. The new building, and you're going to laugh. Did you look in the windows when you were there?
We were looking around a little bit.
Okay.
To see what we could see.
Walk in. It's kind of a broken up space, so it's not as open. But to the left, and this is what I call it because this is what it is. Looks like a karaoke stage with a corral fence.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm like, what the hell am I going to do with that? I'm a Gothic store. What am I going to do with a karaoke stage with a corral fence? And all the wood, the doors are barn doors. I'm like, oh my God, the karaoke stage is going to become the Red Room.
Okay.
And it's about the same size. And it's going to be interesting how I do it because there's no wall, but I'll be hiding everything that I don't want you to see.
Right.
And off that room is a little dressing room, I guess, where people will go in to try clothes on at some point, whatever the shop was. And I'm going to make that the deemed dangerous item room. And anything that's deemed dangerous will be put in that room separate from all the other stuff.
So it's a non-Chris room.
Yeah. And then there's a hallway, a long hallway that goes back to like a storage room and a bathroom.
Right. I'm
going to block that off, and that will become your investigation area.
Oh, cool.
It'll
Very
be
cool.
It's like a 3-4 foot wide hallway, and it's probably 10 foot long.
Yeah.
Going to make it part of the Red Room, and I can either put stuff back there or you can put your items back there that you're investigating without having everything else interfering around it.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I just want it stocked with Coke Zero and green M&Ms. And
well, there is a back room. They did have a microwave and refrigerator back there, but they took them. So I have a microwave, so we can at least put that back there, and I'll at some point pick up a little fridge.
Hot coffee.
She'll be happy with heating up her coffee. That's what she lives for.
You can heat up I hope it doesn't blow the fuses, but
oh boy.
There is, like I say, it's got a nice little kitchen area, storage area, which I have lost. I have no storage, so that will help. Like I say, it's kind of smaller in one respect. It's more square footage.
Really?
It's broken up in weird ways.
Yeah, when we were looking in there, again, it was hard to see, but we saw that front area, and then it looked like it went up a little bit, and then there was another area. And
it's a karaoke stage.
Is that what that is?
Luann says haunted karaoke
I'll
night.
send you a picture of it when we're done. It looks like a karaoke stage. And I'm like, what the hell am I going to do with this? And then, then I started my brain, my brain started going, and I got it all figured out, I think. So I think it's actually going to be more spacious. It's going to have more room for people so they're not jammed in. Unfortunately, there's a little step you have to go up to get in there.
Yeah, I did notice that.
The hallway, I'll probably put haunted items in there as well, even though they're not in the red room. So, but at least I think there's more room, and out front will be a little less room. But
Yeah, that's the thing for the gallery for all of your artwork.
it's okay because what I'm doing is leaving 3 big pieces, like the counter, and there's 2 other big pieces in the shop, and I told them leaving them, and they said that's fine. And that takes up a lot of room because I'm making a big cabinet at the counter. So it's just trying to squeeze everything in. And it's got a weird window. But again, the graphics guy's going to help me with that. And he's going to do a beautiful mural of like a cemetery with ghosts or something and put the creeper gallery or whatever. I don't know. I haven't talked to him about that. But the window's weird. There's a 3-foot drop to get into the window to set it up.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Yeah,
that's what I was wondering when we were looking at it. I'm like, you go in and you go down.
Yes.
And I'm thinking,
there's like a doorway, and then you come around,
yeah,
and there's literally a 3-foot drop down into the window. So I'm going to have to like try and lower things from above, because I'm not going to be good getting in and out of there.
Oh, that's got to be real tough.
Lynn, she's like 18 years old. She could do it.
So or Jay can get in there. Jay's watching.
Poor Jay. I mean, I said to them when they came this week, it was terrible, but I said, look, I need to pack everything from the ceiling down to your waist. Can you imagine all the stuff that's been up on my and curtains and drapes?
Oh, I know.
He did it all. He got it all.
Wow. Good for Jay. Jay is a saint.
Yeah, I could have never. And while she was packing like waist level, he was packing all the stuff from the ceiling. So huge help. And I really appreciated them. The problem is the place is small. Now that I'm packing stuff, it's smaller because there's not a lot of room. And it's full of boxes. And, I still have a lot to pack. But could you imagine if there were more than 3 people, we'd be stepping on each other all the time. So.
Well, we did talk about doing our final investigation of the old Creeper Gallery on Wednesday night. Will be the last time we're at that. And that'll be bittersweet because
it was hard even this week packing it up. And yeah, it's hard. But at some point through your investigation, talk to Madeline and tell her to come with me. Yeah. I don't know if she will, but she's going to have fun with the construction workers for sure.
Oh. Well, we were there, and there were people that I guess were staying upstairs. They're working. I guess they're staying up there occasionally, and we ran into them, and they were saying that they heard a lot of stuff downstairs
all night long.
They told me that too. I ran into them this week at some point. I was there, and the problem for them is they let them. They don't have a lease,
right?
And I said, well, they're going to be working on this building. That's why I have to go, because they're like, are you leaving? Because they have 24-hour notice to be out.
Oof.
They start construction.
Yeah.
They aren't giving notice. They're not giving anything. They're just doing. And I think it's because of the potential problem of collapse.
Yeah. It's an old building, very old building.
And that's what he told me in December. He told me December 8th, like out of the blue. And he just said, this building could collapse when we start underpinning it. Well, now they're not underpinning. They're putting full basement in, which means they're going to take away that whole basement area.
That basement is awesome, man. I wish we had gone down there more often. And I'll never forget being down there and hearing the walking above me. That was one of the coolest things I've ever experienced. It was nerve-wracking in the moment because I really did think somebody broke in.
Yeah.
But because there are a lot of times with that door, and Donna knows because she owns the shop, but that door, when you lock it, you could give it a good pull, but it still never really feels like it's
Right.
locked all the way. And I do that when I'm in there, but sometimes when I'm carrying everything in, I don't lock it right away, or I go back and I lock it. And I thought, crap, did
Oh.
I leave that door open? And now I'm in the basement and there's some people up there now.
Yeah.
And then when I went up there and I'm looking around and I'm like, holy crap, that was cool. They all watched live and you hear it clunk, clunk, clunk above my head. And
the building's definitely haunted.
Oh.
And the weird thing is, I said to Bill, the project manager for the developer, I said, look, this building's got ghosts. And he didn't roll his eyes or anything. And I said, there's a little girl upstairs and there's some slaves from the Underground Railroad downstairs and some spirits of children and a nasty man that smokes a cigar. He goes, that's nothing. When we dug up the Logan, we hit Haitian ghosts.
Whoa.
And ghosts when they were doing the Logan, and they were Haitian.
Oh, wow.
He was said it plain as day. So he believed they experienced it when they were doing the Logan and so they're used to ghosts.
Wow.
But it's just a terrible situation, because as much as I want to blame the developer, he does own the building. And they had no way of foreseeing that these walls of this pit were going to collapse like they did. And not just behind me. There's a pink building next to me. One of the corners is hanging over the 40-foot pit.
Wow.
Parking spaces. And then the drive back there where the parking lot used to be has collapsed in about 20 feet.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So they're worried about that whole row, not just my building.
Well, Wednesday should be interesting. You might want to watch, guys, because it could be.
I mean, they're not dangerous now, but I think they're making more work until I'm out of there.
Because that's what she's saying now.
What?
She says that we're going to be safe. She's saying that everything's caving in the corner, but you
Well,
guys will be fine.
It's not caving in under my building. It's caving in. There was a building behind. It's
on.
Sure. You'll see.
I might be there alone that night, Donna. It's called a hunch.
Yeah. Well, we'll be there during the day.
Yeah.
You feel insecure about doing it. You'll go look and see, but I don't have a choice. I'm going to be in that building for 2 more weeks working to get stuff out. Right. And I'm doing it as swiftly as possible. And I think the building will remain standing after I'm gone for a while. Yeah. Not long, but for a while. And I think it just will mysteriously fall down.
Yeah, Susan says life insurance paid up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Again, the thing is, for me, and I'm just a guy who's been in there for whatever, 5, 6, however many years in there investigating, every couple of weeks. And I love that place. And again, you and I, that's where I met you and we formed our friendship, and you're very important to me. And when I heard, what was going on, and I knew it back when, it started with you, and I was kind of, I know the way you are, and I know when you commit and put your mind to something, you're going to do it. I have no doubt in that about you. I never have. But this time it really seemed like you said, it was coming up faster than you could deal with it. And
she had so many things to deal with all at the same time.
They came in and told me that, right?
Right.
And then I lost my current business partner, right? The following week. So first week, I'm losing my building. Second week, I'm losing my business partner. Third week, I'm finding out I need major surgery. And I'm like, come on, universe, just keep going. Yeah. What the hell? But, I think in the end, like you say, I don't want anybody tell me I can't do decision to keep going myself. I'm not going to have any more business partners. But by myself, I made that decision. I was firm by it. And then everything else hit. And now it's a question of how do I fit all this in before I have to be laid up for a couple of weeks. So that's the hard part. And just, perfect example. 3 hours trying to reach the electric company. 3 hours just to do that.
How ridiculous is that?
I know. And there's only so much time in a day, so by the time you're on the phone for 3 hours and then they do it wrong anyway, now I got to do it again tomorrow. And then everything's happening at once.
Yeah.
I just am getting overwhelmed a bit, but I'm still determined to do what I'm going to do. So, yes, I might not be open exactly the first weekend in April.
Right.
Will be open in April. At some
Right.
point, I will be open in April. So,
But that's the thing. Like I said, when you and I were talking, and I knew when you made the decision, this is what I'm doing, and then you were actively looking for a new
yeah,
location at different. You were trying different places. I said to Chris, I'm like, she has been successful in everything she's done. She's an amazing artist. She was very successful with the Creeper Gallery. She has every right to say, I did it. I proved it. I'm done. Now I'm gonna go.
I thought about it for a minute.
I'm I, I'm
But
sure it
she's
was
like
just
you.
a minute.
You guys aren't quitters. You guys are never going to stop.
I said to my husband, I'm like, this is like actually the perfect timing to retire.
Yeah, yeah,
It's actually that time, but you know what? I couldn't do it.
yeah.
No intention of doing it until I can't physically walk anymore or think.
Yeah.
So you might be like, I might be sitting there one day with dementia drooling.
Well, then I'll have fun with you when that
Oh,
happens.
I
So
But
I'm actually looking forward to that. So
I,
tell
I,
me,
so,
when it starts.
I was so looking forward to just trying it a year or two myself
Yeah.
without having partners to try and, work that way. And so once I made that decision, when the news came that I couldn't, because the building was going to go away, and then they weren't talking, they weren't telling me what was.
Yeah.
I thought that they were going to renovate it, I would still be there, and that's it. They had no intention of getting rid of me. Up until today, they have no intention of getting rid of me. There was just, and like I say, there is another story I'll tell you privately, but it was just so many weird things that happened. And the fact that I'm back in a building that I started at is kind of weird, right?
It's very weird.
Uh,
But again, it's one of those things where maybe again this is the test for you to go and say, now that building that I didn't originally want, guess what, I'm going to go in there now and watch what I do.
oh, that's exactly what I'm saying now.
And you will, and I know you will. I have no doubt
It's
about
like
that.
every day since I signed the lease last week, it's been a comedy of errors, just one bad after another. And I'm like, are you kidding? Joe went today, the front room was 150 degrees.
What?
Yeah. And none of the electric in the back of the building worked.
Oh
So
my God.
like, okay. So he found a breaker and turned it off. Well, here I got a hold of the girl that was in there before, and she said it was broken the whole time she was there. They never told me. So I did tell the landlord, and he is fixing it all. But yeah, it's just been something every single day.
So your daughter Dusty said you should just take the curse box and throw it in the pit and be done with it.
A pit of despair.
that land will be cursed forever. You're
Yeah.
never going to be building on there.
I believe that land is already cursed. It's
Huh.
believe me, I think the last couple of weeks, the spirits have been really active. So the days that I was open, everybody was coming out saying all this stuff going on. And I think the construction literally is
Oh
right
yeah.
to
Oh
the
yeah.
building. And
Definitely.
I think that they are unearthing things that they shouldn't. And I think once they start on my place, probably it would be good if it collapses and they started again. But I think the land is still going to hold those spirits. And I have a feeling those high-end boutique shops aren't going to do well. So, yeah, we'll see. They may in a year invite me back because they're going to build a 52-room hotel where the landing used to be. And the one place they were going to give me, which I'll tell you about later, was a full building from the 1700s.
Oh man, let's do it.
Beautiful studio downstairs, bedroom upstairs, 10 parking spaces.
Where do we sign? Where is it?
Right,
Let's go.
but see, there's a whole story there that I lost.
Okay.
But they are going to establish 4 artist in residence buildings off of the hotel. And they might invite me back in a year or two when that's done. So I'm trying to work with everybody at this point so that there's no anger.
Of course.
of course, the last 3 months, I'm ready to sue everybody, but I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to move on. I'm going to do what I have to do to make this successful. And everybody down there, they were so kind, because even Love Saves the Day, Stacia.
Yeah.
I couldn't find anywhere. There was nowhere in Doylestown, Lambertville, nowhere. And everything is ridiculous. Stacia said to me, this town does not want to lose you. And if you can't find a place, I will give you half my building.
Wow.
And she was willing to help me move the Creeper Gallery into Love Saves the Day.
That's crazy.
That's something.
Wow.
Open. And then the people up the road, who I don't even know any of those people, like from Havana's and all those, like the leather, all these people, they just came rallying around, trying to help me. And I was so humbled by it all, because I don't even know these people, but they don't want the Creeper Gallery to leave New Hope. So they feel the development is going to really ruin the town, and they want to try and keep that end of town as normal as possible. So
yeah, it's sort of kind of like Gettysburg in a way. Gettysburg, for the longest time, only had those historical buildings and those little boutiques and restaurants and gift shops, but they were all in those old buildings. Then, before you know it, McDonald's popped up, and and Kentucky Fried Chicken popped up, and a new hotel popped up in the downtown historic area, and it loses a lot of its, what makes it special when they kind of do that.
They're saying that about Salem too.
Yeah.
So commercial now.
Yeah.
Like it anymore. It's not Salem anymore. And that's what happens. And it's happened in New Hope before.
Yeah.
I went in high school in 1970. What a cool town. Head shops, artists, hippies, bikers. I mean, it was like Woodstock in a town. And
I was only 2 years old then. So
well, everybody to go there and hang out, right? And it would take you, there would be a 5-mile line getting into town until somebody left a parking space, because parking's always been an issue. Then these developers like Toll Brothers came in. They bought the entire town just about, and just put up all these box stores and yuppie stores, and all the artists and all the entrepreneurs and the tattoo parlors and the hedge. They all left. They couldn't afford the rents. They bumped the rents up so high. And then what happened, like 5 years later, flooding in the whole town for 2 years. It kept going underwater. The Bridge Street Bridge was taken out. That Bridge Street was closed for 2 years. That's how my landlord bought it, because the businesses all went out. The property sold for next to nothing. My landlord bought then, my old landlord. And now what happened, the cool people, the artists, the, tattoo parlors, they all started coming back. And New Hope was coming back to what it used to be. And then during pandemic, the development company came in and bought half the town.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Sure, you could see it. It's
start working until 2 years ago, but now they're working, and you can see what they're building. And it's not like New Hope when they're done.
No.
But I think the end of town that I will be in will still New Hope. Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
Again, that place, has been near and dear to me, the old one, and I'm sure the new one will be as well. But, it allowed us to really go in there. I never worked with haunted objects before that, really, as far as like trying to interact and do what we do there. And the fact that I literally met Donna. This was, when the Cable Access show happened. And I'm like, Donna, can I come back here and investigate again? And she's like, well, here's the key, because I'm not driving back here every time you want to come here. And I'm like, you're giving me the key to your building? She's like, yeah, I'm not driving here every time you want to. I'm not going to be up that late. And I was like, holy crap, this lady just gave me a key to her building with thousands of dollars worth of stuff. What a fool.
I trusted 100%. I trusted you guys 100%. And I live an hour away. So, I'm not driving and driving back every time you do an investigation and paying for parking. No. no, no. I trusted you 100%. So, and I still do, and you'll have the key to the new building. And I'm trying to make it more accessible for you guys and give you different areas you can work in and make it a little bigger for customers, you know, so
Yeah.
much. I hope it all comes together.
It will.
In my mind, it does, but you
Yeah.
know, put that big furniture in a room and start trying to squeeze it in. It doesn't always work. So,
But you will, because even again, if anybody's ever been to the Creeper Gallery, which I'm sure a lot of people here have that are watching, the Creeper Gallery prior to the Red Room was not a big space, yet it felt huge because you used every inch of the walls and the space and everything to make it look like it was just, my God, this is a huge room.
My goal every time I go to the Creeper Gallery is to see in all the nooks and cranny what you brought in new since the last time I was there.
Oh, cool. I always bring new stuff every week, even up until last week. I brought new stuff. And I got a living room full of new stuff.
Oh, my God.
I have brought several new haunted items in, though, so you'll find new things there for yourself. I still have some here, and I'm like, why bring them? You know, because
Right.
But yeah, I think it's going to be just as cool. I really do. And there was a period of time when my business partner was there that we were packed solid. You couldn't even. There was only enough room for 2 people to walk through.
Yeah.
Do events. So not that I don't know. We'll have to see where it lands, but.
Well, you have to remember something, Donna. You are the Creeper Gallery. So wherever you go and what you do, that's the Creeper Gallery.
I know, but I want to stay where I am. I'm going to miss where I am. I really am. I'm missing already. I'm already missing Madeline. But you know what?
Yeah. When we talked about what was happening, when it was happening, and, you know, holidays and all the other things that go on. Yeah. And, you know, I kept talking to Chris and going, God, you know, in my head, I'm thinking, how many more times are we actually going to be there? And at that point, it was going to be before we're just done and we're not doing this anymore, because there's going to be no Creeper Gallery. And
that would never happen.
And I know, but I was like, wow, I'm really going to miss going there and doing that and working, you know, with you. And I'm like, wow, this is really like become, you know, part of my life for the last, you know, whatever years, you know.
Yeah, it's sad. It's still sad to me because I do love the building I'm in.
Yeah.
I love the spirits that are there. I love all the people that I've met, and I like the setup. It's a good setup. And like I say, I just got it to the point where it's packed, but people can still walk. There was room for events.
Yeah.
Now I got to go a little smaller, but I think we can make it work.
Yeah, we'll definitely work it out. There's always a way. Always a way.
Yeah. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
And I don't give up. And once I make a decision to do something, and every time I get a little, Joe's on me. Oh, stop thinking about it. Just get out and do it. You know, so he's always pushing me because there's a lot. I'm overwhelmed. Like I say, I'm nervous about the surgery. This all happened without notice. And I had 4 weeks there where people were coming at me. They needed me to. I was supposed to be out in January. I didn't leave. I didn't leave in February because they cashed my rent check.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah, they never sent me notice to leave, and I'm still a tenant. They're still cashing rent checks. And then finally, they wouldn't talk to me. And, you know, I finally this past week got a hold of the project manager. I said, let's get this resolved. I said, I can't keep going on in limbo. I don't know if I should go somewhere, if I shouldn't. Should I move? Should I not? I didn't know what was going on. So I had a long talk with him and made the decision to leave. So I don't have a choice. They're going to do what they're going to do this year, and I can't change that. So, yeah.
Yeah, but again, the future is now, is what you're doing, and you've lost partners before in which you were in limbo and you were kind of like, what am I going to do? And you always came out better.
I think so.
And I think you will this time too, even if this is not the permanent home for the Creeper Gallery. Maybe it will be. I still believe that.
Maybe when they get it fixed up, they'll say, we'll move you back.
Well, this is what I mean. I think you'll make it work regardless. You're going to make this work, and you may like it and say, you know what? I'm just going to stay here.
think
or another opportunity will come. And
once I'm settled there, I don't think I'm going to move.
I don't think you will either.
That's too much. You can't believe how much. I have like thousands of items in that shop. It's so hard to even pack.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, why am I
Yeah.
doing this? But and the problem is my hip is bad. There's
Yeah.
nothing. They actually told me the right hip is disintegrated.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so that's why I've had so much pain the last 4 months. And what happened is the left hip is now bone on bone, so I can't support myself on that.
Mm.
I'm in agony constantly. And I'm
Yeah.
like, how the hell am I supposed to move this when I can't even walk up the steps? And it's so overwhelming for me to think about. Like, I'm exhausted at the end of the day because of this. Once this is fixed, I'll be the bionic woman.
Right. I'm sure. I'm sure.
But it's just, it grades on, chronic. You get it. Chronic pain. It wears you down, I'm as worn down as I can be, and I'm getting it fixed finally. And now all this happens in the middle of it all.
So the Creeper Gallery is closed.
Yeah, I'm actually closed because
Okay.
I do have a few people, or I have a couple people picking things up over the next week. But yeah, I can't pack it and have people come.
Right. I just didn't know if you were still
No,
open on the weekend.
Closed for the month of March.
Okay.
And all is the first weekend in April, but it may be the second weekend in April. And Dusty, she's coming up from Kentucky first week of April.
Okay.
So I'm falling a little behind getting it set up. I'm sure she'll help me get it going. Excuse me. So that's the goal. But
so the big grand opening may happen without you?
no, what I'm going to do is a soft opening in April, whatever weekend it might be. And I haven't posted what weekend because I don't have a clue.
Right.
But what I'm going to do in May is actually do a grand reopening in May, put out goodies and have a sale and invite people, So I'll do it in May when I'm feeling better, and just do a soft opening in April. So my goal, just so that Lynn has somewhere to be and work. Jay's going to work, so it'll be Jay and Lynn running the store for 3 weekends.
Okay.
Then I'll be back. Because actually they said I could probably come back the 3rd. But after all this, I'm going to need a little break.
I would if I were you.
So I figure, well, I'm praying that I can put it all together by April, the first weekend.
So Dusty says she's bringing a bunch of helpers.
Good.
A southern folk are hospitable. That's good that she's going to be there too to help out. And then, we'll do everything we can. I told you that. I mean, we're coming Wednesday, and then I'll work it out to be there to help.
Besides, teenagers will work for food.
Well, feeding everybody that's helping. So I might as well, right? We ordered like this past, we had so many pizzas on the counter. It was ridiculous, but I mean, I appreciate it. I really do. I really wanted you to do one final.
Yeah, we're going to do it. That's the last one, Wednesday night. If you're watching here and now or later, Wednesday night, 7:30. Probably it might be later. It might be 8 o'clock because I think daylight saving. No, what's before daylight saving? It'll be 7:30. Will be the final 7 West Bridge Street Creeper Gallery investigation, which will be. It'll be something because it's going to be hard to say goodbye to that building, even for us and all that.
Ooh, Dustin's bringing Girl Scout cookies.
Well, she works for the Girl Scouts. That's why.
Ooh.
See how I tried to have a touching moment there, and
I was,
and then Miss Sidetrack, just Girl Scout cookies, just totally threw her off the rails. Yeah. It happens. Sorry, people.
I blame Dusty.
But we will. That'll be the final investigation. You might want to watch because, again, it's the final one we're doing there. Yeah. They are doing construction in and around the building. You never know what that's going to do. And we are going to try to reach out to Madeline and try to see how she feels about the whole thing and if she's aware of it. I mean, it's the least we could do.
Yeah, I just feel, she's been there since the late 1700s. The odds of following me are very slim to none because they don't leave their buildings. That's the reason they're there. They're bound to it somehow. So, yeah, we can ask her. I will leave her toys. They'll probably put it in the pit of despair.
They probably will.
the whole building's going to go into the pit of despair. So I don't know. There's just there's no saving that building. The building has been let go for so many years, like a lot of them in these small towns. And the landlords, they just buy them to flip them, and they don't keep them up. So it's falling apart. Yeah.
See, no, we're getting comments if we can go longer. They're like, could you go
Laura.
from 7:30 to 10:30 or 10 o'clock? And
I'm going to get home after 1 in the morning.
Yeah, well, we'll go long enough. We'll go as long as we go to try to really give one last goodbye to that. Again, I'm very fond of that building and the history we have there, and again the relationship we built with Donna and the people that come to that shop, and we'll do it justice for the last time.
I hate all your viewers that come to see me. I really do. And everybody, like I say, has been so helpful, so humble. I'm humbled because everybody offering their help, and I'll drive from here. I mean, I think the landlord should move me, and that's where I'm standing right now. That's the one thing I said. You've kind of screwed me over. I said, you haven't given me notice. I'm without a bill. I'm lost, and they offered to move my entire store. So
let them do it.
Let
them do it.
Yeah, I'm going to, and they got a moving van. They got a ton of people. They got all the equipment.
Yeah, let them do it.
So we can move the whole place in a day. And I said, well, if you can move the furniture, because we can't lift it.
Right.
I'll move the smalls. He goes, we'll take it all.
Yeah, let them do it. I let them do this. It's much easier to deal with when it's there and all in the shop. Now you're just situating it the way, but lugging it back and forth, even though it's not far.
Oof.
Oh, that'll be murder.
It'll seem far.
How big that furniture is.
That's what I mean. And I'm sure the monument of me will be right in the front window. So anybody could come, and there'll be lights around it like an altar, or maybe on the patio in the back. It'll be a whole movement thing that we could start. So
we'll work something out.
I'm sure it'll be there somewhere.
Prop you in the front window.
That'll be even better. The savior.
And then when people walk by, you should do it one day. Just standing there like a man.
Like a live art display. I think there was like a movie where a guy did that for money. I think Vince Vaughn, there was a movie he did that. I should do that with my gadgets and just do PVPs in the window.
Yeah, that would be fabulous.
How cool would that be? Maybe
now that's a grand opening.
Maybe we'll do that.
Grand opening window. You in the window standing.
John on full display. Paranormal savior.
And scare the crap out of people.
And JP gets a haunted hallway from hell. Come on, it's going to be fantastic. Hey, I do believe, again, Dusty, I have nothing but faith in you and your mom and her ability and her desire. I have no doubt that place is going to be great. No doubt. It won't be the old place. No. It ain't going to happen. It's going to be a great version of whatever she can make it. And she will. She'll make it great. I know that.
Yeah. And like I say, I'm trying to stay aware that, I want to configure it so the Red Room's a little more comfortable for 30 people to stand. Honest to God, people squeeze themselves in there like
I know.
Party.
I know.
And I'm not comfortable with that.
Right. Right.
And I do. I have them in a storage room and so I think this place, if I can do it, will actually have a little more room for people to stand in and get in and out. And like I say, there'll be an extra room in there with the bad stuff. So if you don't want to be around the bad stuff, don't go in that little room. And then the hallway, it's just a hallway, but it'll be part of the Red Room. So I think you should have a nice spot. And now the air conditioning. The air conditioning is a problem.
Oh no!
It's window units.
Oh,
and
it's gonna be loud.
Well, yeah, and the one that's in where the karaoke stage is about 12-inch square and 50 years old.
Oh,
even
louder.
So we're gonna put one in the front room, and hopefully that one works. If not, they'll have to put another one in. But so you're gonna have to just shut it down at night because they're loud. I can't. That's the way it's air conditioned.
I mean, even with the heating in the old place, I mean,
electric.
we shut it. No, but we shut it off because even though we were freezing, we shut it off because it was too loud. We couldn't get clear voices on the recorders.
It has baseboard electric heaters, so you don't have to shut it off. You'll have heat in the winter. But the air you will have to shut off. And there's no ceiling fans like
Oh, wonderful. So
what do you want? The building, you know.
I can lose a few pounds, so that'll be good for me for the summer.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's got its ups and downs, and it's different. But I think I'll probably do a little poster of before and like the rooms, and then you'll see the difference. It'll be like a complete change.
So for the grand opening, we'll all be there, and you guys should be there as well. We'll make a whole big thing of it. You know what I mean? And just gather and hang out and
like
support Donna and the shop.
Pizza.
There's a huge courtyard outside. Yeah. And it's a great place to sit and just chill. So, if the store gets crowded, like now I've seen it where, we have a line up the street coming in because it's so crowded. And this place is going to get crowded too.
It definitely will.
But there's a big courtyard. So if there's a lot of people in, they can wait till some come out and go in. And so, it does have its pluses and it does have its minuses, but the universe must be saying you were supposed to be here. I don't know what.
I mean, for now, you know what I mean? This is to keep you going. You know what I mean? This is what it is.
Yeah. Nerve-wracking because I couldn't find a place.
That's what I mean. You were that close to just not even having any option.
I don't think John could be without his monument. I think he needs to visit it.
Oh.
Well, I would have eventually found it, but my back was against the wall. There was just nothing anywhere. And all of a sudden this popped up and I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding. So.
I was shocked when I saw you made the announcement, but you hadn't signed the lease. And then I actually Google imaged the building and I'm like, we know where that is. That's down the other end. And I'm like, okay. So then we went by and we were looking in the windows and
it's right there next to Havana.
Yeah, I love Havana, man. Havana's awesome.
Yeah, and hopefully those guys are helping me find a parking space, so that'd be good.
Well, like you said, enough people, you should be able to get something.
That end, and I'm ashamed to say it. They've all come up over the years and introduced themselves, but I've never been able to walk down that way to actually get to know them. You know what I mean? And they work the same hours I do. And when you're working on the weekend, you can't take time to go out for a stroll. You're working. So their hours would be the same as mine. So I just don't know people down there, but they know me. Then, they want me down there. They always wanted me down there. So now they'll have me. I don't know. I hope the people upstairs, I'm not telling them what I carry.
They'll find out. They'll be like, we hear these weirdos all the time. There's voices down there. And
people living down
strange noises and voices coming out of things.
I don't know how the noise will be down there. And the only good thing about the way this building is oriented is the front door is not in the front. So you have to come up steps and you have to go in a side door. So that whole front room will kind of muffle all out there.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, New Hope in the summer.
That's my only concern is that it's real busy. There's a lot of bars over there.
Through the week, though, you should be all right.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah. But weekends, I wouldn't want to be there on weekends. So, but I do think you're going to have it much more muffled than you have it where we are. So I hope.
It makes it a lot easier. We'll work either way. We'll work with it. But we'll be... Wednesday we'll be there again for the last time. It's weird even saying that, but
the big finale.
It's coming, the big finale at the Creeper Gallery. And as soon as Donna knows about the opening, I'm sure we'll talk about it, and then we'll tell you guys. And we should all be there for that because it's going to be cool. And all you guys that supported the old shop, I'm sure you're going to come down to the new shop.
Everybody's saying, I'll be there. I'll be there.
Great. Thank you. I think I'll still be busy. I think.
Oh, yeah.
It's just getting people to be made aware of when I had a lady come and she left a terrible comment for me because Jay said, told her, follow us on social media. You'll see what's going on. And the woman wrote some derogatory comment about how rude we are. And we weren't open and they drove so far.
Oh, God. That's the worst.
I posted everywhere. I can't do more than that.
I'm familiar with that stuff. Believe me, way too familiar with that stuff.
God, yeah, and it's like I have signs all over the doors. I have posted on everywhere. The website says it, and then you're being rude on top. I just hate that.
Well,
So,
why didn't you mail a letter to her house directly?
to whose?
Exactly.
Well, even on the website, I think it
Exactly.
says temporarily closed, right? I thought I saw that
The expectations
today.
are ridiculous on some
Oh,
people.
no, I mean, yeah, the signs on the door say closed until April.
Wow.
Moving to Main Street, and then Jay would go out and tell them where we're moving and that we're closed. But they were still rude. Some of the people. It's just I don't understand people. And
It's the world we live in. You know
I
that
want it
better than
now.
anyone.
It's for me.
getting
And
worse
me
every day.
alone.
I know.
More than we'll talk about that too afterwards.
Oh yeah,
you have no idea.
Stories that you haven't heard.
All right, Donna. We'll have you back on when we do the big grand opening, so we can show pictures of the new place and talk about how it's said and announce our first official investigation of the new building with the new objects and everything. But in the meantime, Wednesday,
yes,
we'll say goodbye.
Yes,
to the old and
in with
hello.
it. Yeah, just got to keep moving forward. There's no other direction to go. So
You'll make it great. You know that. We know that. It's just a matter of, like you said,
doubt.
getting through all this crap that you need to get through to get there. But you've done it before, and you'll do it
Everybody's
again.
saying they're looking forward to seeing the new place and what you have in mind.
Cool. It'll be great. Honestly, just be a little gentle with me because, like I say, I'm saying I'm going to be doing this and I'm doing it as quick. I'm dancing as fast as I can. You know that term. So I'm dancing as fast as I can, and all this I didn't even have a place a week ago. So
I know.
Half packed up. I have I'm trying to get it all logistically settled because I gotta be done everything by April 15th because after I'm done. So yeah, we'll see. I'm hopeful.
If they move you, it'll be much easier. But they're going to move you.
Oh, they are. I just haven't heard from him today, so I'll call him tomorrow. But he said, "Oh, we'll move everything." I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's a good shop too. Somebody mentioned that Country Fair chocolates. You're right by it. That's a good shop.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're really good.
All the goodies.
Stores. So many stores up there. I've never been up there recently.
They don't have the special kind of chocolate that Donna has, though. Donna has a special.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, the sore body sore just doing all this stuff. It's like, oh my God.
I couldn't imagine with your hip being the way it is. I couldn't imagine.
I can't even walk, but I got a whole store, so it's a lot. It's a lot, but I know in 2 months it'll be behind me. So at least the lease is signed. We're getting the electric fixed. We're getting it painted. I got the move. We're moving forward instead of being in limbo. So that was important. And I am going to miss Madeline, but I think she'll have fun with the building.
Well, be interesting to see. Go back from time to time and be, hey, anything going on in there?
Mark my words. There's a pancaking going on there.
All right, somebody said haunted karaoke with chocolate.
That's what I said.
Now we're talking.
The way I was saying that stage.
I even told Jay, I was joking. I said, I got this karaoke stage. I said, what if we just do creepy karaoke?
Hey.
Like ghost karaoke.
Yeah, maybe one night we'll creepy karaoke night.
Karaoke.
I'm down. We'll eat some edibles and who knows. All right, Donna.
And I had people right in the middle of it going, when's the next auction? I'm like, what? How am I supposed to do that? That takes me 2 months to put together.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen anytime soon.
Realistic, but what are you gonna do? So just bear with me, folks. I'm doing my tap dance, and you guys know that, and I'll get it. I'll get there.
All right, we'll stay on here while I shut the live feed off so I can talk to you. But everyone else, we're going to say goodbye to the Creeper Gallery. Look for the announcement for the new one. It's going to be awesome, regardless. She don't know how to do it any differently. It'll be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Good night, everybody. Stay healthy, safe, and please be kind.
All right.